Okay, so Assalamualaikum and hi, and welcome back to another video on the tutorial about for construction law tutorial 3. So this is the number 3 of my tutorial. Okay, so my name is Muhammad Misha, and that is my partner for this tutorial around. So this time for tutorial 3, we need to partner up lah for like two-person partner kan, two-person. Okay, so for for each person will answer only one question. So my question is question number 1. Under the JKR forms, how can so allege the that the contractor's work under the contract is defective? Illustrate. Okay, so my answer is from here. The PWD contract, clause 15.1, events and consequences of the default by the contractor. So, event of default, in the event the contractor, number 1, fails to commence works at the site within 2 weeks after the date for possession. Number 2, depends or suspends or abandons the carrying out of the works or any part thereof before the date of completion. Number 3, fails to proceed regularly and diligently with the performance of his obligation under the contract. Number 4, fails to execute the works in accordance with the contract. Number 5, persistently neglects to carry out his obligations under the contract. Number 6, refuses and persistently neglects to comply with a written notice from the SO in relation to any defective work or equipment, material or goods which are defective or do not meet the requirements of the contract. Number 7, fails to comply with the provision of clause 47, or number 8, fails to comply with any terms and conditions of this contract. Then the officer named in appendix shall give written notice to contractor specifying the default and requiring the contractor to remedy such default within 14 days of the receipt of the default notice or any period determined by the officer name in the appendix. So this is the factors that uh, that we can allege that the contractor's work are defective. So if he failed to commence the work or any like problems he making on the site, that we can call it defective works lah on the site.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all my friends and to Miss Bintul Huda binti Zainuddin as our lecturer for this subject, construction law. And today I want to present my part. And before I starting my part, I will introduce myself. So my name is Muhammad Azaikal, and for the metric number is A20DW0089. So today I will partner up for this tutorial with my friend. And yeah, welcome back to our videos. So I will proceed to my question that I choose. So the question that I choose is question 3. The SO issues an instruction under the contract for the contractor to attend to defects, and the contractor ignores the instruction. What is the best SO's next best course of action? So we go to the next slide. So this is the PWD clauses that I took. For the clause 48 is defect after completion. So the defect after completion, as we know, the defect is defect that happened to the building, and what is the course of action that SO wants to take if the contractor neglects or do a neglection to the SO instruction. So the completion of outstanding work and remedying the defect. So at any time during the defect liability period, as stated in appendix, or it non-stated, the period is 12 months from the date of practical completion of the works. Any defect, imperfection, shrinkage, or any other fault whatsoever which may appear and which are due to the material or goods or workmanship not in accordance with this contract. The SO shall issue written instruction to the contractor. So for the first action that SO want to take is to give a written notice to the contractor who neglects or doesn't follow the instruction SO. So the written notice must be in writing, and the contractor have to desire that thing and have to know their problems in giving a service to the client. And back to the clauses, the contractor to make a good, the SO should issue written instruction to the contractor to make a good such defect, imperfection, shrinkage, and whatsoever, and the contractor must complete all the works with the due expedition or within such time as may as be specified by the SO. Without the prejudice to subclauses A, any defect, imperfection, shrinkage, or any other fault whatsoever which may appear during the defects liability period (DLP) to be made good by the contractor shall be specified by the SO in the schedule of the defect, which he shall deliver to the contractor not later than 14 days after the expiration of the defect liability period. The defects, imperfection, shrinkage, or any other fault whatsoever specified in the schedule of defect shall be made good by the contractor at his own costs and to be completed within a reasonable time, but in any case not later than 3 months after the receipt of the said schedule, provided that the SO. So for the 48.1B, it mentioned to us or explained to us about the client or SO must uh, take an action by giving a written notice. That is the first action. For the second action is the SO must uh, give a reasonable time for the DLP, defect liability period, to the contractor to complete the defect works within or later not later than 14 days after the expiration of the defect liability period. And the defect or imperfection or any problems that happen to the building must be scheduled or listing out the defect and must taking a picture as a proof to the contractor, so that the contractor can know what is the problem or for the defect that happened to the building. So for the example, the SO must taking a picture to the defect of building and must listing out the schedule of defect. So this will make the contractor work become easier to know and identify the defects. So the contractor also can completed the defect works with the reasonable time and must not have an EOT. So this is because if contractor do an EOT for the defect of work, so the DLP will be happen, and sometimes the SO can take an action and can bring our mistakes to the court. So by hook or by crook, the contractor must completed the defect works with the reasonable time, not more than 3 months after the receipt of said schedule are provided or received from the SO as a contractor. Means that not later than 3 months after the receipt of said schedule means the contractor must completed the works not later than 3 months after receipt of the said schedule that been given by the SO. So that's the meaning of the clauses. And we go to the next slide. The 48.2 is the default in remedying the defects. If the contractor shall if the contractor shall As we can see, if the contractor shall fail to comply with either clauses 48.1a and the 48.1b within the time SO specify, the material or works so affected may be made good in the such manner so as the SO may think fit, in which case the causes incurred including on cost charge calculated by applying the percentage on the cost. Means the remedying defects been happen and be made in the such a good manner, and the contractor must completed the works and must follow the reasonable time that have been given by SO for the defect works for the DLP, and also the contractor must use their own causes to be more responsible to the defect that happened to the building, so that the SO can can sue us as a contractor, and the SO also can calculate it by applying the percentage of own causes charge stated in appendix to the cost, and SO also can deduct from any money due or to become due if the contractor still not do the work for the defect works, and the SO can sue as soon as possible the contractor if the contractor doesn't responsible to this problem that happened to the building which is defect, and the contractor under this contract and failing which such causes will be recovered from the performance bond or as a debt due from the contractor. So the SO also can give a contract and failing such causes that shall be recovered from the performance bond and can be as a debt from the contractor and also SO. Means the SO can give a debt or also causes that been failing by the SO to the contractor as a debt to the contractor. The 48.3 also about a diminution in the value of work. If any defect, imperfection, shrinkage, or any fault whatsoever, in the opinion of the SO, it shall be impracticable, inconvenient to the government to have the contractor to the remedy the same. The SO shall ascertain the diminution in the value of the work due to the existence of such defect, imperfection, shrinkage, or any other fault whatsoever. The amount of the such diminution shall be recoverable by the government from the contractor as a debt due to under the contract, and failing which such a diminution shall be recovered from the performance bond. Means for these clauses 48.3, the diminution of in value of work means that the value of work for the defect works that been doing by the contractor must have a value or must have a valuable, and the contractor cannot do the work uh, easy thing only, because the defect work must be settled down with easily and with effectively, so that the defect works can be happen to the building, and the building can be uh, can be can be more longer can be more longer time to stand up without the defect works that happen to the building. So for the clauses 48.3, other than that, the SO should ascertain the diminution in the value of work due to the existence of such defect, imperfections, or any fault whatsoever. So the SO can also take an action to the contractor by diminish the contractor, or give a warning sign to the contractor to make sure the defect works that been doing by the contractor must be completed as soon as possible, not later than 3 months. and the amount of the such diminution should be recoverable by the government. The amount of the defect works that happen to the building will be covered by government and should be recovered from the performance bond. And the contract that been doing by the SO and also contractor must be recovered, and failing which such a diminution shall be recovered with perfectly. And also the performance bond also can be happen to the contractor and also client OSO. So for the certificate of completion making good defect CMGD 48.4, when in the opinion of the SO, the contractor has made good the defects, imperfections, and also shrinkage or any fault whatsoever which he is required to make a good under the clauses 48.1, or both shall issue a certificate that defect. So which means the contractor must completing the defect and or whatsoever for the building as soon as possible by following the defect liability period that been given by the SO. If the contractor doesn't completed the works on time, so the SO will sue the contractor and give a written notice as a warning sign to the contractor because the contractor doesn't follow the instruction and neglects the instruction from the SO without any reasonable reasons. So we as a contractor must do a perfect job and must give a good service to our client. And the CMGD also will be issued by the SO, which is a certificate to that effect. The date specified in the such certificate must be the date and as approved to the contractor, which means the contractor must completed it the defect works as soon as possible by making a good such defect imperfection or whatsoever by referring to as the certificate of completion making good defects. So if we have a CMGD from our client or SO to the contractor cannot be run from the problem. Means the contractor cannot leave that project because the CMGD already been issued by the SO to the contractor. So the contractor by hook by crook must follow the instruction of the from the SO as certified or stated in the certificate making good defects by completing all the defect works that happen to the building. So the last step that I want to conclude is the SO can give a CMGD, certificate making good defects, to the contractor to make sure the contractor done the works completely for the defect works on time and doesn't have a due or overdue the project, so that the project can be done with easily and also can be a perfect work, and also the building can be nice and perfect from the defect works. So the longer of building can be stand up for a year, maybe 2 years, 3 years without any defects that happen to the building. So that's all from me. Thank you for listening my presentation. If this video is very longer, sorry for my terrible English because I doesn't have a fluent English to talk, but I try to talk to you guys, and I hope you guys can understand what I said. Thank you so much for listening, and yeah, thank you for my partner Hazim Shah for let me to do this video to you guys, and sorry for the late. See you guys in the next video. Thank you.